Hey, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chairs, the Rise podcast. And today, oh shit, you won't believe it. I got my boy Jack from Chicago. And this dude is the shit. Has a huge following in the paranormal crowd and culture. And yeah, he's been, again, made a name for himself with conventions and investigations that he's gone on to. And he's just super knowledgeable about the remote past and what's going on in the modern times of weird phenomenon. So, Jack, I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How you been? How's your summer?
Dude, everything's going pretty well, everything's going good. And it's so nice to be back on here, so thank you for asking me to come back.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yours is one of my more it's one of my favorite podcasts to be on because it's just so laid back and you're awesome yourself. So yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. No, I love having you on here because you're super knowledgeable and you get into some of the legends and of a lot of these things that don't get talked about too much. So I like how you bring up, especially you brought this up to me earlier, and I never heard of this. I was like, "Whoa, let's definitely dive into this." I had to wear my clown shirt, so we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the Phantom Clowns. And I never heard of this, and I guess there is a lot of history that Jack has made some connections to. So, hey, tell me more about this.
Well, first of all, I love your shirt, by the way. So I'm glad you put that on. That's awesome. But yeah, the Phantom Clown phenomena is a phrase that was coined by paranormal researcher Lauren Coleman, and he wrote a book called Mysterious America, and each chapter was some different unexplained phenomena, and there was one chapter about what he calls phantom clowns. So what it is what happened in 1981, starting in Maryland, I believe, is where there was an urban legend that was going around where these kids from different school districts were allegedly being lured by a guy, in a clown costume and clown makeup, lured into a car. Some reports said that, they were being offered candy, that they were beckoned to come into the van and things like that. But here's the thing. Here's the interesting part about this. There were dozens of reports about this, dozens and dozens, and all these kids. It was so prevalent that the school districts were sending out messages to parents, letting them know what was taking place, what the kids were saying. The police got involved. And here's where it gets really eerie. There wasn't a single arrest. Nobody was ever apprehended. And according to the descriptions from the kids, it's like it didn't seem like it was the same person because it was they wore different suits, different type of makeup, different vehicles, things like that. But it gets even weirder because it spread past Maryland, and there's later on that year there's now reports in the Midwest. There's reports in Kentucky, in Tennessee. And it's the same thing. These kids are saying that they're being lured by these clowns, but nobody is being apprehended. And now, you fast forward a couple years down the road. Now it's in Indiana. It's in Wisconsin, your home, and Chicago, in the Chicagoland area. In the early 90s. So there was a TV show, a comedy sketch called In Living Color.
Oh yeah, I love that.
It's actually where Jim Carrey got his start. He got his start in Living Color. And there was a the sketch within the show called Homie the Clown.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
love Homie the Clown.
Yeah, for the audience, you got to look up Homie the Clown and on YouTube. There's some funny sketches about it.
Oh yeah, he's great.
But there was allegedly a guy that was dressed as Homie the Clown trying to lure kids
Oh
into
my
a
God.
van or chasing kids sometimes, things like that. Now, all this is happening, and there was no arrests. They didn't even have any suspects, you know, and it's just very, very bizarre. Now, your audience might remember this. You might remember this just a couple years ago in 2016. There was a lot of people that were dressing up as clowns.
Yes, I
You
do remember
know,
that.
yeah, this was
At the parks and stuff, and then they're waiting for people to walk by, and they're just standing there,
exactly, yeah,
scaring the shit out of people.
exactly. Now this was all over the country, actually even outside the country. But this is the 2016 incidents were different
Right.
because the people were arrested. A lot of
Mhm.
people were arrested. Actually, and in fact, there was videos of police arresting some of these people doing it, and they were
Right.
just pranksters. You know what I'm saying?
And some people
Um,
got beat up too, I heard.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, there's videos on that too. Um, so it doesn't have the same mystique as what happened in the 80s and 90s.
Hmm.
I think what happened in the 80s and 90s is different from what happened in 2016. Um, Going back to the time period, a couple decades ago,
Hmm.
all that stuff that I mentioned, it wasn't just happening in the US either. It was happening in South America. It was
Hmm.
happening in Britain. It was happening in Scotland. And for every one of those cases, nobody was arrested. It's very eerie. There was this one case in South America, I believe it was Brazil, where it was Brazil or Argentina. It was one of those. But one of the kids said that it was a clown with a vampire driving an ambulance
Oh my
around the
God.
city. Yeah, yeah, really, really interesting. Um, so you get a lot of stuff like that. And I was fascinated when I read this book or this chapter a long time ago. This was years ago, and it always stuck with me because I feel like it's similar to other things in the paranormal that have taken place. For
Okay.
example, Mothman. Mothman was first seen in a small town, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in 1966. The sightings lasted for about a year, and then Mothman disappeared.
Mhm.
You know, when you get something like the spring-heeled Jack, which was a person or a being, we don't know, that appeared to people in the late 1800s. And this thing was able to breathe blue fire, and it was able to hop over high fences, and it was, scaring the crap out of people. And it only lasted for like a span of a couple weeks to a couple months and then disappeared. You know, what are
Oh.
these things that people are seeing? You know, John Keel, he popularized the idea of what's called the cosmic jokers or the cosmic joke. The idea that these beings, what he calls ultra terrestrials, is they can appear in various forms. And they use these forms for whatever reason. We don't actually know what the reason is. Is it to attack us? Is it to lure us away? Is it to confuse us for some reason? Like we don't know their agenda. Um, in the movie, not the book, the movie Mothman Prophecies, there's a character, there's two characters that are talking about the idea of of Mothman and the idea of ultra-terrestrials. And one of the guys says, "Well, why don't they just come out and explain to us what they want?" And the guy says, "You know, they they're like we're like roaches to them. You
Mhm.
know, do you come out and explain yourself to a roach, even though roaches are intelligent themselves?" It's like,
Right.
no, no, you wouldn't do that. And so that's what these things are. They they function on a level that we can't comprehend because we're human, you know. These things, it seems like, are gods, you know.
I was gonna make another connection with that you about them being ancient gods or even like part of the crew of these ancient gods because the Hopi Indians talk about one of the Kachinas that are tight, wear this black and white tight fitting suit with like looks like what you have in the background for like gesture ears that come down and just looks like a
Yeah,
clown. He's got like clown makeup too. Like, he's got the black and white. Again, very clown-like and it's very it looks totally different from all the other Kachinas, but he's part of the Kachina
yeah,
crew. So it's kind of
right.
like, whoa. Right when you said that, I was like, there's this other being that is kind of like a clown. Like
Yeah.
this is very gnarly. You could share stuff if you like to. You can share pictures and
Um,
stuff.
what's the
But
I'm
no,
trying to
it's
look at the name.
I'm sorry, which one?
Heyoka. That's what you're talking about.
You could probably like,
Heyoka.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a?
Um, so
You share the
so
screen?
exactly. I can't,
Okay,
unfortunately. But
okay, that's fine. You know what
for
I'm
your
talking about then?
audience, yeah, for your audience, it's spelled Heyyoka. Heyoka. Um,
Okay, yep,
and yeah, so I've connected it to that. That's a great point that you make. The Heyoka. It's like they're dressed
yep,
as clowns, you know? So
yep.
what's going on there? Now, keep in mind, a lot of people that have done ayahuasca, the hallucinogenic ayahuasca, sometimes many people have encountered these clown-like entities on the other side.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
what if this idea of the clown is an archetype? Um, an
Mm,
archetype is an ancient psychic image that's imprinted in all of our minds. The psychologist Carl Jung talked about archetypes. Um, it's one of those things where when we see it, we know what it represents, even if we've never encountered it before, you know? Um,
yes.
and I'm wondering if the clown or the jester is one of these.
That's interesting that you said that too, because it kind of reminds me of the movie It, because that thing came from space and it came on emotions and it kind of formed itself into this clown. Because I mean, it could turn into whatever it wanted to, but it found its liking in this clown, knowing that it was a long history of maybe fear of maybe
Yeah.
kids having fear of clowns. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm really
Oh
glad you
yeah.
brought
I
that
mean,
up.
it's
So
that's
yeah,
genius.
I'm glad you brought that up because I looked into that, right? I looked into how did where did Stephen King get the inspiration for Pennywise in his book It, which by the way,
Mhm.
the book It came out after these clown sightings that took place.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes.
the idea
Yes.
of clowns being evil wasn't quite yet cemented in the American imagination, because it's really Stephen
Hmm.
King that really cemented it in there. But going back to him, where did he get the idea for Pennywise? He said that he was just thinking about what's something scary uh, that kids would find terrifying. And he's like, well, he thought about a lot of things. He goes, okay, kids would be really afraid of werewolves. Kids would be afraid of, I forgot the other examples that he gave, but he settled on clown because he thought clowns had a disturbing nature because it's supposed to be friendly and joyful, but it could also be very scary looking as well. So what you were saying, the
Yes.
idea that Pennywise is came from another dimension in the book.
Yes.
It's it's really
Mm-hmm.
bizarre. Again, it goes into the idea of this cosmic joke or ultra terrestrials. These things, they're
Yes.
shapeshifters. You know, what if these things that appeared to all these children in the country in the early 80s was just that, shapeshifters? They appear to
Mm-hmm.
us however we whatever we imagine we would see is what we would see. Do you know what I'm saying? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so during that time period with the clowns in the US and other parts of the world, something else was occurring in the UK, in Britain. It's now called
Mm.
the phantom social workers or bogus social workers. So there was this epidemic of social workers going to people's homes, even showing, um, in some cases, like very quickly, like showing their ID and going into people's homes and saying they
Mm-hmm.
need to examine their children, or saying, "Hey, your children needs to come with us. We got reports of abuse. Your kids need to come with us." And
Mm.
usually the way it went was people were like, well, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? Like, let me see your ID again, let me see your badge, who do you work for? And as soon as that stuff would happen, they would leave.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm.
don't we don't think that any of the kids were actually ever taken, because
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like for all these cases, the phantom social worker, they would leave. And what's interesting, it wasn't even
Mm.
male social workers, it was usually female social workers.
That's weird.
So the police got wind of this, obviously, and they started to suspect that it was some sort of pedo ring that was taking place, and that they were
Ooh.
just, having women, as like, how do you like the face of it, so that because women tend to be more like trustworthy and stuff, right?
Sure.
But when they
They
did
wouldn't
an
do that to children.
investigation, yeah, when they,
Mm.
when they did an investigation, it was called Operation Childcare. So they did this in-depth investigation to see what the heck is going on. Who are these phantom or bogus social workers coming to people's homes? And again, no arrests were made. There was no suspects that took place. Nothing like that. So you see
Wow.
it from the social workers, the clowns. And now, what does a lot of this make you think of? Well, if you go into the world of UFOs, ufology, you get the Men in Black. You get these.
Mm-hmm.
The Men in Black are. I know you know this, but for just in case for the audience, the Men in Black are these individuals in black suits, black hats, and they approach UFO witnesses and tell them, did you see a UFO? What did you see? Did you talk to anybody about this? And they would threaten them not to talk about their sighting. And then they would disappear. Again, they would disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they came across as very aggressive, but there are no instances of Men in Black actually attacking anybody. Um, in fact, when
Mm.
people get aggressive with the Men in Black, they flee. You know, um, many of the reports talk about how the Men in Black appear to be human-like, but not fully human. Um, there's one instance where they don't know how to um they don't know how to hold utensils, and they're examining the utensil like they've never seen it before. Another instance where he was offered Jello and he didn't know how to eat the Jello, so he just took the whole cup and he put it in his mouth and swallowed it without chewing.
Oh my God.
There's another instance where right after the man in black was threatening someone about not talking about their sighting, his voice started to change and it started to be very robotic.
Hmm.
And he says, I have to go. I'm running out of power. Very mysteriously,
Mm.
whatever that means, right? Um,
Whoa.
what if there's a what if there's a connection between these things? The phantom clowns, the bogus social workers, the men in black, Mothman, what if there's a connection between all of them?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. No, again, I think our culture kind of, I don't know, has this weird connection with clowns in outer space. Again, we have it, we have the killer clowns from outer space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like we have all this other weird shit. There's another movie that connects it with space and clowns. But again, even with the it dimension, I heard it came from the same dimension where there's a flying turtle, space turtle with elephants on it with a flat Earth on top of it. You
Yeah.
know this? Okay.
Yeah. So that's also from the book. The idea with that is that Pennywise, the clown, was an evil entity, and the turtle was a good entity.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know too much more about the lore, but yeah, they both come from like they originate from like the same dimension or something like that, and they're both these cosmic creatures. So yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's again beautiful in a sense that they bring these stories from our ancient past because they thought even we were writing on this goddamn flat Earth giant turtle flying through space and shit.
yeah, exactly.
No, it's amazing. Man, I don't know. Again, you're right. There is these weird connections, and I heard there's other weird abductions where people who get abducted by like penguins or something like soft or like like Santa Claus or something they can recognize where it's non-threatening. You
Yeah,
think that's kind of like something in a form of that way too for some of these people who are witnessing these
I think
entities that are
yeah,
clown-like or like very, trickstery? Because there's like the jinn too. They're like just here to fuck with us, right?
yeah. I think there might be a connection with that. I know there's an author named Steph Young, and she wrote a book, and it's only a small part of the book, but she documents cases of people encountering scarecrows,
Mm.
like like moving scarecrows,
Yeah. Okay.
and I don't know, how legitimate these cases are. I don't know if it's just some creative fiction or if it's legit.
Sure.
But if it is legit, and these people really did encounter those things, those scarecrows, then I think it would be in the same category as that.
Yeah. Again, like something
Um,
taking form to maybe just again, I feel like extraterrestrials would just get a kick at just scaring the shit out of people just for this. I can like imagine like some teenagers, ETs, and get into their little vehicles and go somewhere, fuck with somebody.
yeah,
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 we're gonna turn into a clown and make this guy scream his head. No, no, you're right. The fact that we have it so back in our history, it'd be different if it wasn't like so far back in our history. Like, again, with the Kachina and that one clown-like one that really kind of stands out from the other ones. But again, living side by side with this clan of entities. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. There's that weird connection. And then why we are so a love-hate relationship with the clown. We have people who actually love the clowns and people that just hate the clowns. Can't even stand looking at them. And
Yeah.
no, and the fact that there's the argument. There's a guy named So the Clown that's on YouTube. So the Clown.
Okay.
You should look at him. He's really he takes his love for clowns super seriously. Where like I don't know, he's dressed up as a clown, and he talks about like not having any genitalia because he's a clown and clowns don't have any. And yeah, he's like he goes down to the core of it. He's very out there. I don't know. Just people like there's another guy who tattooed his face as a clown. His name is Richie the Barber, and
Oh, wow.
he's known for doing haircuts on celebrities and stuff like that. And yeah, his whole he got like uh, body modifications on his eyebrows to enhance the clown look. Got the whole kick and caboodle.
What's his name?
Richie the Barber.
I
Look him up.
gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta look this up. Hold on.
He's like a crazy Christian now. And like he likes to preach. So he's like a preaching clown. Maybe that's another weird. Yeah. You see it now?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
But
Oh, yeah, he converted to Christianity.
yeah, he preaches it pretty hard. But
That's interesting.
yeah, isn't that interesting? But yeah, again from childhood and something that embraced him so heavily where he wanted to totally transform himself into a clown.
Yeah, yeah, it's the idea that of these clowns appearing to people is just it's disturbing when you think about what if they're not human, you
Oh
know?
yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know,
they're here
what
to
if,
fuck with us. I mean, shit.
yeah.
I
And
don't know
not
if
only
he's
are they not human, but they shapeshift,
yeah,
you
it's
know?
shape-shifting, yeah. Or it's kind of like I don't know if you've seen the movie Communion. It's from the true book of that one
Yeah,
abductee.
with Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher
Yeah.
Walken's, yeah. I feel like
The
there's a
dancing
scene in there
scene.
where like the ETs kind of transform into something that's easier for them to kind of comprehend. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then
right.
it's kind of like that movie's kind of weird. I don't know about you.
That's a really weird movie.
That's a real weird, yeah. Especially with the
The
interacting with the aliens. I'm like, holy shit. It's like
the
dancing there
dancing.
naked and shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
it's like
man.
what is that?
I'm like, that happened in Communion.
I've seen so many memes, so many
Mm-hmm.
videos where they'll like insert a different song.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's so good. No, it's like, yeah, it's weird. But no, you're right. So you really have to think, is it just the Disneyland of the galaxy where they're just kind of like just popping shit in and out with all these other creatures, with Bigfoot kind of being like this interdimensional thing that kind of has the free will of like coming in and out of here. And then we talk about Iceland, that even the government takes it really seriously that they live side by side with a interdimensional race of elf people that look like the ones from the Lord of the Rings, like
Yeah,
blonde hair and shit, and just move with grace and shit, like just.
yeah.
And
Well,
then,
you said an interesting phrase right now. You said Disneyland of the Galaxy. There's
hmm.
a book called Disneyland of the Gods
Oh
by
really?
John Keel, and it's a paranormal book.
Oh, look at that.
And yeah, and he talks about each chapter is like some really weird phenomena that takes place, and basically he just like comes away with is like he puts his hands in the air and he goes, I don't know what's going on. He goes, this place, this planet that we inhabit, it's Disneyland. It's
Yeah,
Disneyland for the gods. We're just the toys of the gods.
yeah.
So yeah, it's nuts, but I'm fascinated by it, you know.
No, no, exactly, because it's just it's so gnarly. It's again like one other bizarre ET story from Wisconsin, from Eagle River, Joe Simonton with the pancakes.
Oh yeah.
Again, that weird exchange that left him baffled, And you know
Yeah.
what? I have a cabin in Eagle River, and I found out by the help of Jeff from Badgerland Legends. Uh, his house is 5 minutes away from my cabin. And I wigged out. I was
Wow.
like, no fucking way. So I ran there, found the street, and then
That
uh
is
and I
awesome.
and I found his grave too. His little humble
Wow.
grave. Doot. But yeah,
You
no,
live
it's
5 minutes from it?
I'm sorry?
You live 5 minutes from it, you said?
My cabin is, yeah.
Okay, oh, you can. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, up in Eagle River. I can.
Wow.
I thought for sure it'd be like, I don't know, further away from again, this whole time I could have
Yeah.
gone. Oh my God, I could have ride my bike there. Uh,
Wow, that's
yeah,
nuts.
it's just stupid. Again, maybe it is a sign of like I'm in the right spot or something, right? Like
Yeah.
some
No,
I don't know, the
you
fact that like you and I are like steering our own destinies. You know that? Like the love of having this hobby. No, seriously,
yeah,
you went to college for this type of thing of getting to the field of you went anthropology, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, stuff like that. You're getting knowledge from school and your own theories, and again, being adults thinking about this type of stuff. It's awesome, right? I never thought it
yeah,
would be
yeah,
like, and having other people be as interested and just be as curious as you are. Because I just never
yeah,
thought of the clown as more of just what we probably brought it back from, I don't know, the 1800s or like the earliest circuses. But no,
yeah,
it's way further back. Again, they
right.
had the ideas for these things in the first place, right? Like,
Yeah,
oh, what the hell did I see just pop out of the fucking woods? It looked crazy. I'm gonna copy it.
yeah.
No,
No, you make
seriously.
a good point because, yeah, we could trace the modern clown back about, 100 years ago or so, but it's actually more ancient than that.
And where do you think the
Mhm.
gesture came from medieval times? Like they must have had
Yeah,
more of a core of that too. Not just because
right.
the entertainment, but like there was
Yeah.
there's more to it. I don't know.
Um, so it's going to get even weirder now. Now there is um there is a book out there right now, and the author connects clowns to the Nephilim. Are you familiar with
Oh,
the
really?
Nephilim? Yeah. So for
Yes.
the audience, the Nephilim are the hybrid of angels mating um with humans, with human females.
Right.
Because in Genesis chapter 6, it talks about how the angels they looked looked down on the earth and they fell or lusted for these human females, and so they mated with them, and they created a Nephilim,
Yep.
and the
Yep.
Nephilim became um, in the Bible. The quote is, "They became men of renown." So basically, people of prestige, people of power,
Yes. And
and
giants too.
yeah, and so the idea is, yeah, yeah, actually, sorry, yes, giants. You're right. I should have started out with that they were giants as well, and that's one of their distinguishing characteristics is that they were giants. But then there was a book that came out that's called "The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns,"
Hmm.
and it is by, I'm trying to pull up the author here. Hold on. Paul Stobbs. And Paul actually runs a YouTube channel as well, where he talks about this thing. It's a YouTube channel called Understanding Conspiracy. And he talks about
Okay.
now he does all of this from a Christian perspective. He's a devout Christian, but his
Okay.
connections are really interesting, to be honest. I'm not necessarily a Christian, but he does make really interesting connections. And he believes that um, the idea of the clown actually came from the Nephilim because his research has led that the Nephilim looked like clowns. And he goes
Hmm.
into, different points of history and looks at that. For example, in Hindu mythology, there is a set of beings called the Rajas, which are demons. And if you look at their images, they look clown-like. Now, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, I don't know if if I buy into it. I don't know if I buy into that the Nephilim and clowns are one and the
Sure.
same. But it is a very
Sure.
interesting connection, and he did a lot of research into it, so I think it should still be noted. Um,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things that you have to look it up yourself and draw your own conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right.
but it does go to show that like the idea of clowns, being that ancient, possibly going back to biblical times, connecting it with other
Oh, sure.
mythological beings, you know what I'm saying? It's fascinating.
Yes. No, I think they're just one of the entities that just are here amongst us too. I think again, where they get the core idea, especially like the gestures, the court gestures, because that was just the first kind of way of expressing this foolery and trickstery. And again, they might have seen this out in the woods or out something kind of like again like troll like. You know, I feel like the trolls kind of be kind of trickstery and like the um what are the things? I don't know. The
Yeah.
pug wedgies. You know?
It's like these things are memes, like living memes.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's really cool that you bring that up because yeah, I just never thought about it. I bet half of my audience have never thought about that.
Yeah.
And it's cool to bring these connections together because yeah, you're right. Because I feel like a lot of these legends have the core truths to them, and they had the ideas, and then a lot of these stem from ancient gods and. I feel like too, like, isn't like some of the Greek gods, some of them like are clown-like? I'm looking through like the Disney one in my head, the Hercules.
That's
They're
fine.
all like different colors and shit. Uh, but no,
Well,
I don't know. I
that's
feel
why
like it's in. I think it's everywhere.
I chose the
I'm sorry.
background, because I felt like that
No, it's
it made
perfect.
sense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in medieval arts, when you see the clown, sometimes the jester is accompanied by death. And as you can
Oh,
see in this image right here, the jester is literally death. So it
mm-hmm.
goes back to the idea of this cosmic joke, you know, death,
Yes.
paranormal,
Okay.
initiation, comedy, it all goes hand in hand. We're not in on the joke, but they are, you
No, you're
know.
right. You're right.
I,
No,
I
it's like
think
those
we're the
occultic
punchline.
societies too. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, because you know, here's a great example of like Eyes Wide Shut, the movie.
yeah,
You seen that?
yes, I
Yeah,
have. Yep,
like the cults. So yeah, he goes
yeah,
into the parties and everybody's wearing the clown masks and shit. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? The sacrifices, like the weird rituals, like the
yeah.
clown kind of like I don't know, man. Holy fuck.
Well,
No, you got me going down
yeah.
this rabbit hole.
Okay, now think about this. Um, Brandon Lee, the actor Brandon Lee, that passed
Yes,
away.
yes,
He passed away
yes,
while filming The Crow, one of my
yes.
favorite movies.
Oh
And
my God.
what?
Keep going. I think I know where you're going
Okay.
with this.
He, he wore jester makeup,
Yeah.
right? He wore jester makeup and he died while filming um while filming The Crow. He died while
Yep.
filming The Crow in
Yep.
jester makeup.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to connect it back. Bear with me. I'm going to go down this roller coaster, so bear with me. Okay.
Okay.
Fast forward to 2008. You have the movie The Dark Knight.
I
Heath
was gonna say
Ledger,
that. Yep.
actor Heath Ledger, is playing the Joker.
Hmm.
Now, he didn't die um, while filming.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
he died. I think it was like right after filming was done, something like that.
Yep.
And he died under mysterious circumstances as well. Um, we know that well, actually, that could be a whole presentation, the way he died, actually. It's really weird. I know like the Olsen twins or one of them
Yeah, that's
was
weird.
friends with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, or something like that.
Or, like they never found like the maid that found him or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna skip that because that's a whole other presentation. But so he died while filming, or I'm sorry, he died right after playing the Joker.
Right.
Now, what's the connection between this? Because there's been many people that have played clowns in movies. Well, interviews with Brandon Lee while filming The Crow, he talks about the process that he got into. And Brandon Lee was known for really getting involved in the roles.
Hmm.
He put himself in a headspace where he would embody the role.
Right.
And and he did this with when he played Eric Draven, the
Yep.
embodiment of the crow, right?
Yep.
Heath Ledger was known to really get in a certain headspace
He did. Yeah.
for his role.
He had that crazy journal with it looked like a psychopath.
Exactly. We know that Heath Ledger spent some time alone in a hotel to work on the role for the Joker. He um, he would try different voices.
Mhm.
He would look in a mirror and try different facial expressions. He really got into his roles, and especially the Joker. We know this. These two brilliant actors embodied jesters. These two great actors embodied death.
Mhm.
Um,
They did it so well it became death.
in ancient cultures, the way you would summon the god or gods was by embodying the gods. There are pharaohs in ancient Egypt that were said to em- embody the gods. They were gods themselves. And the way that many kings in ancient Samaria and ancient Egypt and basically the ancient Mediterranean, the way that they would do this, they would take on the role of the gods by adorning their attire to look like the gods, by
Mm.
changing their voices to try to
Yeah.
mimic what they thought the gods sounded like. They would do all these things to embody the gods. Well, what if what if when you do that, you do summon archetypes, you do summon entities? What if it's actually very dangerous to do these things? Now you connect it
Sure.
to psychics, channelers, when they channel discarnate spirits, when they channel the ascended masters, when they channel deities, they close their eyes and they put themselves in a trance and they become vessels for these things, for these entities.
It's kind of like the movie 300 where they had the oracles, and the young girls that would talk the gods would talk through them basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. I forgot about that actually. Yeah.
I can
Um,
forget that.
what if that's good? Um, what if Brandon Lee and Heath Ledger, what if they were creatively brilliant enough and they had that certain psychic kind of bent to them where they were able to become vessels for something else.
Mm.
After the gods leave your presence, it's usually not good afterwards. That all that power, there's a vacuum there, and
Mm.
oftentimes it could lead to death. Um, oh God, this could go down such a rabbit hole, but I feel like I gave your audience so much already. But
Keep going.
but well, I'll just summarize this. So there's a researcher, Chris Knowles, and he runs a blog called The Secret Sun, and it's great. He's been doing the blog for years, and he says that the the singer Elizabeth Fraser, who's a singer for the Cocteau Twins, he says that she is a vessel for a higher power, and weird coincidences happen around her when she is doing a tour, a singing tour. These weird cataclysms happen. Um,
Mm.
People around her may die mysteriously, things like that.
Damn.
And he said this as a huge fan of her, you know. But I'm not doing his research justice by saying this because his
Sure.
research is very much in depth, and I just recommend that you go check it out. And it's called The Secret Sun. But my
Okay.
point in saying that is that when you take on, the gods, very bizarre things happen, and especially when you're honing in on specific archetypes like the jester, like the clown. So, yeah.
Oh, that's yeah, dude. Again, very mysterious. And again, I think there is some connections, and it's so cool that you finally you brought it up to me and my audience that to look at the clown a little bit differently than you would usually would. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's been a culture for a long, long time in different cultures all around the world. And I'm thinking even China and Japan. I'm thinking like even they
Yeah.
had like clown-like figures too in their mythologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's so cool. Well, let's see.
I'm trying to
Hey, I think we were. Yeah,
oh no, no,
what you
please,
gonna
please go ahead, go ahead.
say? No, I was gonna say. Uh, is it almost an hour here? Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe we should roll it up here right now. And
Okay.
unless there's another conclusion to the clowns that you have right now, we can share.
Um,
Or is this kind of
uh,
like you're just kind of it's just so mysterious in a hole that like we can't really get a grasp on yet. But there's something there.
yeah, it's I'm hesitating. I apologize. I'm hesitating because I'm trying to see like what direction I could go down from here without going into, because I mean I could honestly go on, but I think we did well
Oh,
in terms
well
of
you can.
um
Well you can. I just wonder if you want to. we can keep going down the rabbit hole. I got more time. I don't know if that
No,
was
no,
all
no,
as it was. Okay,
no, no.
well, keep
I
going.
don't. I don't want to go down too much more of a rabbit hole because I'm still doing a lot of research into it. But
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of where I am. I in terms of like just a summary of the kind of research I've been doing. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like I lost my train of thought. Just I'm sorry. uh,
I don't care.
I felt like I was
This is
going
no,
somewhere with
it's
that.
no, that's all right. No, again, I feel like this it is an endless uh subject because yeah, because we don't have a full grasp of like we have more of a grasp on like ancient astronauts, but not this is more new. I think this is new because you only knew a few guys that write a book about this or have a theory about this. Um,
I know
but
what I
no, I
wanted to
think this
say.
is really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Okay. Sorry. I was thinking this whole
Go.
time, like, there was something else I wanted to say. Um, and I finally remembered. And so j just to kind of like, wrap this up in a semi-neat, bow tie. Um,
Hmm.
1973, if I'm not mistaken, these a family went out on vacation. This was in the Isle of Man, right off the UK. And the two kids went off on their own to explore, and they come across this like metallic shack that they kind of describe it. And there was a big like a buzzing or a beeping sound that they heard. And then out from under a nearby bridge that was over a river, a man comes up, and it was a clown.
Hmm.
And this clown introduced itself um, as Sam of all colors. And it gets really bizarre because
Hmm.
this thing would speak in a robotic manner, and it was
Hmm.
dressed in just like kind of patchwork type clothing, all like kind of mashed
Hmm.
together. His
Like a
face,
hobo.
yeah, like oh yes, exactly like a hobo, like a caricature of a hobo, and he looked like a clown as well, and he had this conversation with these kids, and he was speaking into a microphone that like wasn't connected to anything, and it just seemed all like very bizarre. And the kids would, ask him. At first they were really hesitant to go near him, but then, they got comfortable and they went near him, and they were like, they asked it, they go, are you a man? And he's like, well, not really. They go, are you a ghost? And he goes, well, not really. And he didn't give them an answer. Um,
Weird.
and eventually he said that he had to go. And then so the kids they ran off, they told the father, and the father thought it was, he dismissed it at first, but then he thought it was really weird because prior to that he saw a UFO. And then a couple
Ooh.
weeks before that, he had seen a UFO as well. So this
Hmm.
thing was like a clown, but connected to a metallic object, possibly a UFO, which, by the way, the father actually went back to that area and there was no metallic shack there or anything like that. Um,
Hmm.
so it's just another part of the mystery. It's a clown that's possibly an alien or an interdimensional being. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
bizarre. You know, like we can't
Again, I feel
we
like
can't wrap this up in a nice way because this thing is just a big enigma. We don't know what it is. But I want to do more
it almost
research.
sounds like it's
And
the actual Pennywise. It sounds like.
yeah,
And this
yeah,
motherfucker just
exactly.
likes to fuck with us.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my. And again, the fact of that being from outer space and having it to be more based on what the negative energy on Earth that kind of created this monster. And it had like a Native American, well, the new version of it, the new movies kind
yeah,
of have the connection with the Native Americans. So that's pretty interesting,
yeah.
right?
That is. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see the latest ones, but yeah.
Oh, you didn't. Well, they
Mm.
switched up the storyline a little bit and had the connections of it. Well, the Native Americans were trying to stop it when it first came to land. It was like the
Oh
shapeshifter.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, no, it's again very eerie. One makes you wonder why
Yeah.
these people get these ideas and droplets, and yeah, it makes you wonder what's going to happen here in the future. I was going to
Exactly.
ask you too. What do you think about this mothership that's coming closer and closer to Earth? I think it's just passing Mars now.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I really don't know. There's sorts of, talk about disclosure in the UFO field and something big happening, but I've been in the UFO field for many, many years, so I'll see, once something actually happens, then I'll be a little bit more excited about it.
Sure, sure.
Um, hey, Justin, I'm doing a late night tour
Okay.
today, so I do got to be heading out soon.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go and I'll edit this tonight. And yeah, dude, let's do this again. I want to, and please send me an invite to your show when that's up here going
Yeah.
online. And please tell my audience where they could find your stuff.
Yeah. So you could I run a podcast on YouTube called Channeling Chavez, my last name Chavez, Channeling Chavez. And yeah, I just talk to people on about, their the paranormal, things like that. And I also run a group called Paranormal Chicago. So hold on. Sorry about that. So yeah, you could find me on my Facebook group, Paranormal Chicago, and or just on Facebook or Instagram, Jack Chavez. So,
Sweet.
and Justin, I just want to say, dude, like, thank you for having me on again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, of
I actually
course.
want to do more research on this topic, and maybe you'll have me back, and we'll go for round two.
Of course, dude, you're always welcome back on my show. You're one of my favorite guys because you're a guy right next door to me. The Chicago to Madison is a hop, skip away. And yeah, again, whenever you're in Madison, please let me know. Let's hang out.
Yeah,
Let's go investigate some of these
sure.
hot spots of ghosts and UFOs. And yeah, again, I just haven't really, again, I never gone ghost hunting yet. So you might have to ch
Yeah.
pop my cherry.
I look forward to doing that.
Okay. Wait, stick with me for 2 more minutes.
Okay.